The dynamic by design is a really great phrase. Let's use that. For one, there needs to be a level playing field for different carbon removal methods to allow their methodologies to be considered. So in our white paper, we propose a kind of phased approach where at least the EU can recognize a method that is demonstrably carbon removal. It may not be ready for prime time. It may not be ready to be measured and used in policy, but it is in fact carbon removal, and maybe that gives it the ability to receive dedicated funds from Horizon Europe or other institutions to help start making that methodology. So the kind of barrier to entry, if you're a brilliant scientist in a lab somewhere or a farming group that's come up with a new method, how are you going to be able to compete and get yours to be looked at and obviously evaluated by an expert group or by the governance model that's created so that there is that security, but we need to make sure that we aren't kind of allowing incumbents. You know, it's such a new field, carbon removal, that we're not used to the idea that there will be these very large players, perhaps, that could intentionally or unintentionally kind of capture a lot of attention and take a little bit of the air out of the room. No pun intended. But yeah, and there's other ways we can make it dynamic by design. I mean, by its very nature, every time we measure carbon removal, there's an error bar. There's a level of certainty about how much carbon was actually removed. That error bar needs to shrink. So one other recommendation we have is that we need a global hit list, almost database of what are these outstanding scientific questions, places where DGRTD and others can direct funds to say, what is the role of methane eating bacteria in tree bark? You know, prioritized according to which scientific gaps are creating the most uncertainty. So that's the dynamicness by design.